My life's a story before me, and I'll try and find a way to be free finally. I'll reach the new world. The game has only just begun. I can see it in your eyes. This is where tomorrow brings a new game. It's time to learn, the pain is gain. Ready, fight!
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Bowser Jr. Fan 13, and we're back at it again with another top 10. Now, if it isn't obvious to everyone, I freaking love Street Fighter. It's one of the best fighting games of all time. And it's not just the gameplay that just makes it so fun. It's its wide variety and cast of characters that makes it so entertaining. And there are a lot of characters to choose from. So for this list, I'm choosing my top 10 favorite Street Fighter characters. So without further ado, let's go into this action, shall we? So coming in at number 10, we have Vega. Vega is one of the 4 Shadaloo Kings from the original Street Fighter 2, who was one of the boss characters. And I remember fighting against this dude. He's one of the most hardest bosses I've ever fought. Like, every time I play Street Fighter 2, this dude always whoops my butt and always make me start to rage quit and stuff. But I also love his gameplay, like when I'm playing as him. He's very fast, he's super agile. I love his cool moveset and some of his super moves in Street Fighter 4. They're so awesome. And he has a pretty nice backstory. He was a beautiful man who basically believed that he was beautiful and the ugly should die, mainly because of his father being so ugly and killing his mother, which probably led him to his tragic personality and psychopathic ways. And it kind of makes you want to feel bad for Vega, but overall I think this dude is so awesome, and he always has to put on that mask just to keep his beautiful face from becoming ugly. So he's at number 10. Number 9, we have Chun-Li. Alright, so this character needs no introductions. We all know who Chun-Li is. She's not only one of the most popular fighting game characters, she's actually one of the most popular, greatest female video game characters, period. Like, anybody you can think of. If you ask any girl who's their favorite Street Fighter character, or do they know any popular video game characters who are females, I guarantee you Chun-Li is going to be the straight up answer to all of them. Anyways, Chun-Li is a police officer who's also a detective trying to stop Shadaloo and basically all evil. And she's doing this out of trying to avenge her father, who got killed at the hands of Bison. I love her moveset. I love the spinning bird kick, the fireballs that she throws. She has a wide variety of kicks. It's like she never skips leg day. No wonder why her thighs look so beautiful. And overall, Chun-Li is one of the coolest, fastest fighters I've ever seen. In fact, she's really cool. Anyways, so that's all for Chun-Li. She's at number 9. Number 8, Bison. Now, if you guys already watched my top 10 favorite video game villains video, then you guys already know why I love Bison. He's a dictator, he's a leader of a criminal organization known as Shadaloo. He's responsible for the death of most characters' relatives or some characters. And basically he just sets up everything for Street Fighter 2, and he's the main villain of Street Fighter 5. And that's pretty much all I have to explain about him, but just love his moveset, the Psycho Crusher, Devil Reverse, Knee Press Nightmare. All of his Psycho Power moves are just so amazing. This dude does not give any mercy to anyone. So that's all I have to say about him. Bison's at number 8. Number 7, we have Lara Masuda from Street Fighter 5. Now, I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. When I first saw this character, I was honest to God confused, because I was like, how is this a Street Fighter character? Because When I first looked at her, I was like, she looks nothing like she belongs in Street Fighter. But the moment I saw her gameplay, it immediately switches my opinion, and I ended up starting to like this character. So she is the sister of Chun from Street Fighter 3, and she's honestly no slouch as a fighter. She's been training in her own martial arts called Masuda Jitsu, which is basically some type of martial arts that she studies with her family. And it's gonna be a really cool one because I don't know how, but not only does she has her own cool moves, she can freaking throw electricity and surround herself in electricity like she's Blanca. I used to think that she was like the female equivalent of Blanca, and I actually shipped her and Blanca, but okay, sorry for saying all that, sorry for being so weird, but overall, I think Lara has got to be the most coolest character I've seen. In fact, she's actually one of my favorite female Street Fighter characters, and I'd love to see her make a return in the next Street Fighter game. So she's at number 7. So at number 6, we have Ken Masters. Yeah, I think we all know who this character is. Everybody calls him Clone Ryu, Ryu number 2, Blonde Ryu, blah blah blah. Well, this dude may have the exact same moves as Ryu, but if you think about it, from time to time, Ken has actually changed. And I mean, he's become a little more faster than Ryu, he hits a little more harder than Ryu, if I recall. And not to mention, like, some of his movesets has actually become a little more different and unique to him. Like, for example, Ken can light his Shoryuken on fire and his Hurricane Kick. So there's that. And some of his own super moves are completely different from you. The Shinryuken, the Shoryuken, that one super move he uses in Street Fighter 4, I can't properly pronounce it correctly, but what I'm saying is that Ken has become a master of the Hurricane Kick and the Shoryuken. So good for him. But it's more to that than what you think. Ken overall is quite different from Ryu. Like, he's all cool, he's chill, he marries his sweetheart Eliza and has his own son named Mel. I mean, Ken has become a family man and a fighter, and that's honestly pretty cool. So overall, I still love Ken. He's one of the coolest fighters, and whenever somebody plays as Ryu, I would play as Ken sometimes, but you get the idea. So anyway, he's at number 6. At number 5, we have another Ryu-like fighter, Akuma. Now this guy is much different from what you expect. He has the same moves as Ryu and Ken, but it's actually more than that. His fireballs are a lot more powerful and more faster. He has a faster Shoryuken and Hurricane Kick. This dude can actually throw fireballs in the air, he can teleport, and he has some pretty dark and dangerous moves on his own. Like, come on, he can pound a fireball into the ground and basically surround himself in a fiery barrier. And he even has his most deadly super move, the Shangoku Satsu, also known as the Raging Demon.
Prepare yourself! God will tell the depths!
I'm sorry, I just had to include that. It's just that good. But overall, Akuma is no slouch when it comes to being the coolest character. He cares nothing about others, and his only goal in life is to become the strongest fighter, even if it means that he has to kill everyone in his path to do it. So, Akuma is at number 5. So coming in at number 4, we have the all-American hero, Guile. Everybody knows this character for one thing and one thing only. His awesome theme song. It's just so catchy, you can't deny it. Anyways, his moveset is also pretty cool. He's got the sonic boom and the flash kick and everything. So what goes on with him in the Street Fighter universe is basically he works in the military and he wants to destroy Shadaloo and defeat Bison and get revenge because basically Bison was responsible for the death of his best friend Charlie Nash from Street Fighter Alpha. But as soon as Guile defeats Bison and attempts to kill him, his wife reminds him that killing Bison won't bring Charlie back and will make him a much more terrible person. So his family begs him to come back home and be a family man. And even though he deserted his family, they still loved him. So he goes back with his wife and daughter and has a swell time, and things are pretty well. I mean, he still fights throughout the Street Fighter series, but he's become a much better person and a much cooler character. He hasn't changed throughout the years, but I mean, he has sort of, but you get the idea what I'm saying. So he's at number 4. And at number 3, we have the equivalent of Bruce Lee himself, Feilong. When it comes to martial artists, and especially Bruce Lee, Feilong has got to be one of the most iconic and special Street Fighter characters out there. He's a very fast character who rushes into his opponents. He's got all these cool karate chop moves. He can light his feet on fire and deliver some fiery kicks. This dude has it all. So there's not much to discuss with this character other than he's just a typical movie star and he just wants to be the greatest fighter. So in his endings in Street Fighter, he basically ditches another movie star deal and continues to train because he's the equivalent of Bruce Lee. Of course he would do something like that. But still, Feilong is just the best, and he's at number 3. So at number 2, we have my most favorite female character throughout all of Street Fighter history, Cammy White. Cammy is just awesome. I love her moveset, the spiral arrow, the spin drive smasher, cannon spike. She can grab people with her legs and throw them on the ground. She is just a tough girl. There's no doubt you don't want to mess with her. And she has a pretty tough and crazy origin story. She's actually a genetic clone of Bison, who was basically one of his slave-like dolls, who ends up losing her memory and not knowing what to do. But after finding some answers, she decides to become a good guy. She becomes a government agent for the United Kingdom. And she also goes against evil, she goes against Bison. And although she does have to fight some of her sisters that have gone evil, including DeCapri, she still manages to pull through in the end. And overall, Cammy is just, as I said before, awesome, and no denying it. And that's why she's at number 2. Now then, before we get to my final pick on the list, as always and usual, here are my
Bowser Jr. Fan 13 Honorable Mentions.
Blanca, the man-beast himself who grew up in the jungle and became the electric, shocking fighter we all know and love. This dude's wild, his moveset is crazy, and his story is just pretty amazing. A child who got separated from his mother and ends up becoming a man-beast that just lives in the wild but starts to bond with humanity through fighting. It's kind of strange, yet pretty cool. Rasheed. Now, there's not much to discuss with this dude, but I know that he looks pretty cool, and I love his moveset. He has basically combined like wind powers mixed with martial arts. It's a pretty simple thing. Sagat, the former champion of Thailand who once lost to Ryu. He is swallowed up by revenge so much that he joins Shadaloo and works with Bison to get revenge against Ryu, but ends up quitting because he learns that revenge is not the way to go, and he basically lives a much better life. Love his moveset too. Balrog. This Mike Tyson wannabe is no slouch. He may be a tough boxer, but boy does this dude play dirty. Judy. One female fighter who has a pretty tough origin story, yet she is one of the most evilest characters I have ever seen. Well, not entirely evil, but still. Also, how can somebody so evil be that, well, you know. Dawson, the Mr. Stretch Arms Armstrong equivalent himself, who has a pretty crazy moveset, breathing fire and stretching his limbs very wide to put it in as a weapon of fighting. But I'm kind of confused. How does yoga make you do all that, and how can you make it into a fighting style? I don't get that at all. Sakura, a high school girl who loves to kick butt and Ryu's #1 stalker. Are you sure this character shouldn't be a rival school's character? I mean, she did make an appearance in rival schools, but still. Seth. This dude is the leader of an organization known as SIN. He was originally one of Bison's vessels that he was going to use, but it ends up gaining its own life and turning against him. Thus, he creates his own organization and tries to take over the world. He also has the power to copy everybody's powers and abilities and use it to his advantage. This dude is basically Perfect Cell. Rose, the woman that can look into the future and basically tell the dangers that lies through. She has a pretty decent moveset, an amazing story, and that's all you gotta know what I have to feel about her. Colleen. This woman is so beautiful, and she's one of the best cryomancers in video game history. She's basically like the cousin of Sub-Zero. She can use ice to her advantage and basically mess with any fighter that comes in her way. Fun fact, she actually is the assistant of Guile from the Street Fighter 3 iteration, and she sometimes appears in Guile's intros. And I was like, you're kidding me! That woman in Street Fighter 3 becomes a fighter all on her own? Has Guile been training this girl to become a powerful fighter? I mean, I guess so, because Guile also has ice powers. Okay, enough with the stalling. I think we all know who #1 is on the list, but let's just get to it. #1, my favorite Street Fighter character of all time is Ryu. This should be no surprise to anyone because I love playing as Ryu. Every time I play a Street Fighter game, Ryu is always my go-to character. Can you blame me? The dude is just so popular and so cool. His moveset is so iconic. The Hadouken! Shoryuken! Tatomaki Zobuka! I'm sorry. It's just so iconic. I just have to repeat it. And he has a pretty nice story. He's a warrior who's seeking to become strong. He's basically like Goku. And he's also trying to suppress his evil darkness called the Satsui no Hado, which I don't know how he got that, but anyways, overall Ryu is just a really cool, good guy, a really awesome hero. He doesn't like evil. He'll do whatever it takes to defeat all sorts of evil and basically just become the greatest fighter of all time. He makes a lot of friends throughout the years and a lot of enemies, and you gotta love Ryu for what he is. I mean, Street Fighter would not be Street Fighter without this dude. If you're gonna make a Street Fighter game without Ryu, I'm a pass. But overall, he's just so awesome, and he will always, forever be my #1 favorite Street Fighter character. And that's all I have for today, so let me know in the comments down below who is your favorite Street Fighter character, and I'll see you guys next time. So, peace out everyone.